Okay, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, and peace and blessings, Israel. I wanted to take a few minutes out to discuss where we are in prophecy. Now, I've given a breakdown concerning the 400-year prophecy, but I want to be clear as to what I believe will happen at the 400-year mark and what it means according to Scripture. So, I'm going to read Genesis 15 and 13 through 14 and go through that prophecy one more time, and then I'm going to explain. So in Genesis 15 and 13 starting, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation they shall serve while I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. So, to Genesis 15 and 14, the judgment begins after the 400-year mark. Now, the judgment includes the plagues, and the plagues are also known as curses. To show you this, I'll do a parallel reading of two scriptures speaking on the same event. Now, we can find these scriptures in Daniel's 9:11 through 12 and Baruch within the Apocrypha chapter 2 verse 2, and I'm going to start at Daniel's, right? And I'm going to parallel that with Baruch. So it says in Daniel's 9 and 11, yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, in the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. All right, now, let's parallel that with Baruch. Baruch chapter 2, verse 1. Therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that are written in the law of Moses. Now, as you can see, the word plagues are used in Baruch, and the book of Daniel translates them as curses. Now, seeing that the judgment entails plagues or curses falling on the nations that is judged, and as it is written, these curses are also described as the cup of trembling or dregs of God's fury in Isaiah. Now, I'm going to read Isaiah 51 verse 21. And it says, therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith the Lord and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over. Now, another precept to that can be found in Deuteronomy chapter 30. And it says in Deuteronomy chapter 30, you will see it describes God's taking his curses and placing it on the other nations, right? And it says in Deuteronomy 30, and we're going to start from 6. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all that thou mayest livest. All right, next verse. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemy. You see that? And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemy, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Now, understand, when it says the curses are being lifted, we are saying also that they are moving from us to the nations that afflicted us, right? Or are afflicting us, right? But always keep in mind, right, that if we continue in disobedience, those same curses will remain on us. Because the stipulations in Deuteronomy say that we must come back to the Most High. All right? When you read that in Deuteronomy 30:1-2, and you can also go into 3, but let me read this real quick. Deuteronomy 30:1. Right? And it says, and it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and I will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for everyone who wanted to know. So with that being said, I want to say have a good day, Israel, and peace and blessings to you all.